The one who seeks truths in a world filled with false mirrors is doomed to eternal wandering. But what if the key to understanding is hidden within you? Inside you, everything you need already exists to shatter old illusions and become the true creator of your reality. This video is based on Nietzsche's philosophy and will be interesting and valuable to those who seek to understand the essence of existence, to those ready to break the boundaries of conventional thinking and look beyond the ordinary. Well then, let's begin. You stand at the edge of a great abyss, gazing into the infinite unknown. You yearn for answers, for certainty, for the comforting weight of truth cradled in your hands. Yet I tell you this, truth is not a prize to be claimed, nor a treasure buried beneath the sands of your existence. Truth is a flame, elusive and untamed, ignited only by the relentless friction of your questions. Do not mistake the stillness of certainty for wisdom. It is merely the grave, where curiosity goes to die. To live is to wrestle with the chaos of the unanswered, to peel back the layers of your own ignorance and stare unflinchingly into the void that remains. Each question you dare to ask tears apart the veil of illusion, not to comfort you, but to confront you. You must become an eternal seeker, a wanderer not in search of destination, but of discovery. Each step forward reveals not clarity, but complexity. Each revelation unearths further mysteries. This is the paradox of existence. The more you seek, the less you know. And yet in that knowing less, you find the profound. The truth does not owe you its allegiance. It demands your surrender. It asks of you not the arrogance of answers, but the humility to listen, to persist when the silence feels unbearable, and to endure the agony of realizing that your greatest certainties were but fragile shadows. Ask, then, not for the world to reveal itself, but for the courage to keep asking. You must become the question itself, restless and unyielding, for the essence of truth is motion. And as you move through this world, the questions you carry will become the path, and the path itself will be your answer. Will you dare to persist, even when the answers elude you? Or will you succumb to the seductive comfort of the known and the finite? The choice is yours, though I suspect you already know where you must go. After all, you are here, standing on the edge. Step forward. The mirage of comparison. Do you feel it? That quiet, insidious pull to measure yourself against others, to weigh your worth on scales forged by hands not your own. It is a seduction as old as humanity itself, a siren's call to abandon your essence and chase shadows cast by lives you do not truly understand. Yet I say to you, this path is barren, its fruits bitter, its promises hollow. You are not a reflection in someone else's mirror. You are not a fraction of their triumphs or a shadow of their failures. You are an entire universe, vast and unknowable, filled with constellations of experiences, desires and dreams that no other being could ever replicate. Why then do you waste your precious light trying to fit into another's orbit? Their paths are not yours to walk. Their victories, their struggles, their joys, they are mirages, illusions born of distance and incomplete understanding. You see only the surface, the shimmering facade, while your own depths remain unexplored. What treasures lie buried within you, waiting to be unearthed? What truths could you uncover if you turned your gaze inward instead of outward? There is no glory in imitation, no meaning in the pursuit of lives that are not your own. When you compare, you diminish yourself. When you envy, you blind yourself to the brilliance of your own existence. Comparison is a thief, stealing your peace, your purpose, your very sense of self. But you are the creator of your own universe, the architect of your own destiny. To squander this power, chasing the echoes of others, is to betray the gift of your uniqueness. Look within. Feel the pulse of your own being, the rhythm that is uniquely yours. Embrace the chaos and the wonder, the beauty and the pain, for they are the threads that weave the tapestry of you. In that reflection, you will find not perfection but truth, not comparison but creation. Do not seek to measure up to others. Seek to exceed the boundaries of who you were yesterday. For when you finally abandon the futile race to be someone else, you will discover a truth that will set you free. You were never meant to follow. You were born to blaze your own trail. The prison of fear. You feel it, don't you? That cold, unrelenting grip tightening around your soul, the whisper of dread that tells you to stop, to stay, to shrink. Fear, it is the silent warden of a prison you built for yourself. And yet, I tell you this, the bars are an illusion, the chains mere shadows. The key to your freedom lies not in escape, but in confrontation, and it has been in your grasp all along. Fear is no enemy, it is a mirror. It reflects the boundaries of your comfort, the edges of your known self. To fear is to stand at the threshold of transformation, to glimpse the vast, untamed wilderness of what you could become. But so many of you turn away, retreating into the smallness of safety, clutching the familiar even as it suffocates you. You were not made for this. You were not born to cower in the shadows of your own potential. Every fear is a challenge, a summons to rise beyond what you are and reach for what you could be. The path to freedom is not in fleeing from what terrifies you, but in walking toward it, step by trembling step, until the monster reveals itself to be a phantom. Do you feel the walls closing in? Good. That is the moment you must act. Do not wait for courage. It will not come to you like a gift. Courage is forged in movement, in action, in the audacity to confront what makes your heart race and your hands tremble. Each step you take toward, your fear weakens its hold. Each breath you draw in defiance of it cracks the walls of your cage. The freedom you seek will not be handed to you. You must take it. And when you do, you will find something extraordinary on the other side. Not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Not the end of struggle, but the beginning of strength. You will not simply escape your prison. You will demolish it stone by stone until nothing remains but the open sky. So I ask you not to be unafraid. That is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the truth. No, I ask you to be fearless, to feel the fear and face it anyway. For when you do, you will discover that the prison was never real, and the only thing keeping you there was the belief that you could not leave, the burden of applause. Imagine this. You are walking a path carved by your own sweat and will, a road no one else can tread. Yet all around, faceless crowds linger in the shadows, their murmurs rising and falling like the tides. You strain to hear their approval, to catch their fleeting praise, believing it is fuel for your journey. But it is not. It is a weight, a chain. The desire to please everyone is the death of authenticity. It bends you, shapes you, forces you into contortions that betray the essence of who you are. To live for applause is to hand over the reins of your existence to a crowd that does not understand your journey nor cares for its depth. They clap not for your truth, but for their comfort, and in their approval you lose yourself. Do you not see the futility of this pursuit? The applause you seek is fleeting, its echoes fading before you can even grasp its warmth. And for what? To delay your steps, to dilute your purpose, to exchange the fire of your uniqueness for the tepid glow of conformity. No, that is not why you are here. Your path demands movement, not validation. It requires the courage to walk forward even when the world turns away, even when the silence around you feels crushing. For the purpose of your journey is not to be understood or admired. It is to be fulfilled. To reach the end of your road and know with unshakable certainty that it was yours and yours alone. Let them misunderstand you. Let them judge. Theirs is the lesser burden. You carry the weight of your own becoming, and it is a weight no one else can bear. Do not squander your steps chasing the approval of those who have no stake in your destiny. Move forward, steadily, purposefully, unshaken by the noise of the crowd or its absence. And one day, when you stand at the summit of your own making, you will realize something profound. The only applause you ever needed was the beating of your own heart, steady and true, as you walked your path without compromise. The art of becoming. You stand on the edge of existence, peering into the vast emptiness, hoping it will speak to you, reveal its secrets, bestow upon you the elusive meaning of it all. But the universe is silent. It offers no answers, no grand design written in the stars. And this silence terrifies you, doesn't it? The absence of a preordained purpose feels like a void too vast to bear. Yet, I tell you, this silence is not a curse. It is an invitation. You were not placed here to discover meaning as though it were some buried treasure hidden by a distant god. No, you were born to create it, to carve it out of the raw, unyielding chaos of life with your own hands. You are not an observer in this world. You are its artist, its architect, its alchemist. The canvas of existence is blank, and the brush trembles in your hand. Will you dare to paint? Stop searching for a truth outside of yourself. There is none. The meaning you seek will not descend from the heavens nor rise from the earth. It will not be found in books or whispered by the wise. It can only be forged in the furnace of your own will. Every action you take, every choice you make, every dream you dare to pursue. These are the strokes that define your masterpiece. Do not wait for life to hand you purpose. It will not. Life is indifferent, a vast, impartial stage upon which you alone must perform. The question is not what life means, but what you mean. What will you create? What will you leave behind? What force will you bring into being that did not exist before you? This is your power, your privilege, your responsibility, and here is the paradox. When you stop seeking meaning and start creating it, you will find that the void is not empty. It is infinite. It holds all the potential you could ever imagine. You are not a spectator watching life pass by. You are the force that shapes it, the spark that ignites its fire. So stop looking for answers where there are none. Pick up the brush, the pen, the hammer, whatever tool your soul demands, and begin. Build your meaning, create your purpose. For in the end, the life you live will not be measured by what you found, but by what you dared to make real. The weight of borrowed truths. You carry them, don't you? The truths handed down to you by others, parents, teachers, society, truths wrapped in certainty, stamped with authority, and offered as a guide to your existence. You cling to them, hoping they will lead you to peace, to purpose, to understanding. And yet, deep within, there is a disquiet, a gnawing sense that these borrowed truths do not fit. They rub against the edges of your soul, leaving you restless, uneasy, lost. Do you not see? These truths are not yours. They are the remnants of someone else's journey, fragments of their fears, their dreams, their struggles. They may have served them well, but for you, they are a cage, confining you to paths you were never meant to walk. To live by another's truths is to betray the essence of who you are, to become a ghost in your own life. Your soul demands more. It demands that you question, that you doubt, that you rip apart the fabric of inherited belief and stare unflinchingly at what remains. In that void, you will begin to find your own truths, not the comfortable, easy ones, but the raw, unshakable realities that resonate with the deepest parts of you. But this is no simple task. The search for your truths requires courage, for the journey will take you into uncharted territory. You will confront the lies you have told yourself, the illusions you have clung to, the comforts you must leave behind. It will be painful, disorienting, lonely, but it will also be liberating, transformative, divine. And when you find them, your truths, they will not come with applause or validation. They will not fit neatly into the expectations of others. They may even make you an outcast. a rebel, a stranger in the eyes of the world. But what of it? To live by your own truths is to live authentically, to stand firm in the face of the storm, unyielding, unbroken, alive. Do not fear the discomfort of this path. Fear instead the slow death of a life lived by the dictates of others. For when the final hour comes, it will not be the borrowed truths that comfort you. It will be the unshakable knowledge that you dared to seek, to question, to create a life that was wholly, unapologetically your own. The shattering that sets you free. You cling to them, don't you? Those comforting illusions that wrap around your mind like a cocoon, shielding you from the chaos of the unknown. They tell you stories you want to hear, that you are safe, that the world is just, that the path ahead is certain. But I tell you this, these illusions are not your friends. They are the bars of a gilded cage, a prison you have mistaken for sanctuary. Freedom does not reside in the embrace of illusions. It waits for you beyond them, in the uncharted wilderness of reality. But to reach it, you must first destroy the walls you have built around yourself. And destruction, it is not for the faint of heart. To shatter your illusions is to let go of the lies that have cradled you, to stare into the abyss of uncertainty and not look away. This is the paradox of liberation. The very things you fear to lose are the chains that bind you. You fear the collapse of what you thought was true, the disintegration of the beliefs that have given your life structure. But what is the cost of clinging to them? A life lived in shadows, a self defined by half-truths, a freedom you will never taste. The act of destruction is an act of creation. When you tear down the illusions, you do not leave emptiness in their place. You make room for something greater. You create space for clarity, for understanding, for a truth that is not borrowed or imposed, but discovered. You become the architect of your own mind, the master of your own destiny. But beware, this path is not without pain. To destroy is to lose, to grieve, to endure the chaos that follows the fall of falsehood. Yet in that chaos lies the seed of something extraordinary. It is in the rubble of your illusions that you will find the foundation of your freedom. So, do not fear the shattering. Fear instead the stagnation of a life lived in chains you refuse to see. Fear the comfort of illusions that keep you small. And when the time comes, and it will, take the hammer in your hand, strike the walls, and let them fall. Only then will you know what it means to be free. The voice beneath the noise. The world screams at you, doesn't it? A relentless cacophony of demands, distractions, and illusions. The noise is everywhere, on your screens, in your conversations, in the endless chatter of your restless mind. It drowns out everything, even the faintest whisper of truth. But there is a voice beneath the noise, a voice that is yours alone, waiting to be heard. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a presence, a force. It is the place where your soul speaks, where your inner self lays bare its truths, without the interruptions of the outside world. Yet how often do you enter this sacred space? How often do you allow the silence to envelop you, to strip away the layers of distraction until only your essence remains? The noise of the world is a seduction, luring you away from yourself with its promises of connection, validation, and meaning. But it is a lie. The noise offers no answers, no clarity. It fills your mind with static and leaves you numb to the quiet wisdom within. To truly hear yourself, you must rebel against this noise. You must turn away from the world's clamor and step into the stillness. In the silence, there is discomfort at first, a confrontation with the emptiness you've been avoiding. But within that emptiness lies a profound freedom. The silence does not demand, it does not judge, it simply is. And in its vastness, you will find the space to reflect, to question, to rediscover the voice that has been buried under the weight of the world's noise. That voice is your guide, your compass. It is not loud, It does not shout, but it is unyielding, steady, and true. It will tell you who you are, what you want, and where you need to go, but you cannot hear it if you do not listen. So seek the silence, not as an escape, but as a return. Enter it with courage, and let it strip away the falsehoods, the distractions, the noise. In the stillness, you will find yourself whole, unbroken, and alive. And when you emerge, you will carry the silence with you, a quiet strength in a world that never stops shouting. The power of vulnerability. You hide them, don't you? Your weaknesses, your fears, your scars. You bury them deep within, hoping they will never see the light of day. You fear they are your downfall, your shame, the cracks that will tear you apart. But what if I told you they are not your enemies? What if I told you that within those very vulnerabilities lies your greatest strength, waiting to awaken? Vulnerability is not a flaw, a weakness. It is the birthplace of potential. It is the raw, unrefined material from which power is forged. The world teaches you to hide, to mask, to pretend that you are invincible, that you are whole. But the truth is far more profound. Your greatest power lies not in perfection, but in the courage to face your weaknesses, to stare down your fears, and to transform them into something greater. Do you understand what I am saying? Your vulnerabilities are not obstacles, they are opportunities. They are the cracks through which your light can shine. They are the fractures in your armor, places where the true essence of who you are can emerge. To face them is not to be weak, it is to be reborn. The road to strength is not paved with invulnerability, but with the willingness to confront what hurts, what frightens, what limits you. It is in the deepest shadows that you will find your brightest light. When you stop denying your weaknesses and begin to understand them, you will find that they are not the chains that bind you, but the fire that refines you. What the world calls weakness, I call potential. The raw material from which you can forge a life of immense power, but it will require something from you. The willingness to be real, to face what you fear, and to embrace what makes you human. Only then can you truly transcend it. So do not run from your vulnerabilities. Do not hide your scars. They are the very things that will make you whole, that will make you unstoppable. When you learn to turn your weaknesses into strength, you will see that there is nothing in this world that can break you, for you will have become the master of your own transformation. The tyranny of the so-called authority. They tell you how to think, how to live, how to be. The authorities, those who claim to know better, who wear the mask of wisdom, who speak with the voice of experience. They stand tall, offering you blueprints, maps, and directions for your journey. But what if I told you that their maps are nothing more than illusions, their wisdom a cage? What if I told you that the only authority in your life is you? You are told to trust the experts, to follow the rules, to adhere to the path laid out by those who have walked before you. But who are they really? The so-called authorities, the ones who claim to know the truth, to possess the answers, they are not gods. They are men and women just like you, with their own flaws, limitations, and biases. They have walked their path, yes, but their way is not yours. Their truth is not your truth. You must reject the notion that anyone else knows your path better than you do. Your life is yours to create, and no one can walk it for you. The authorities may offer advice, but they cannot walk your journey. Their wisdom is not the key to your freedom. It is a constraint, a leash that keeps you tethered to their vision of life. The moment you begin to question those who claim to know better is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. The moment you step away from the crowd, from the voices that tell you what to do, is the moment you begin to find your own voice, your own way. Do not be afraid to challenge the authorities. They have no dominion over your soul. Their words are only as powerful as you allow them to be. When you step into your own truth, when you begin to trust your own instincts, you will see that their authority crumbles, for it is built on nothing but fear and conformity. You are the master of your own destiny. You are the creator of your own path. No one knows you better than you know yourself. And it is only when you challenge the voices of authority that you will discover the vast, untapped potential within you. For true freedom lies not in the approval of others, but in the courage to walk your own way, no matter the cost. The tremor of truth. You feel it, don't you? That strange, electrifying tremor that runs through you when you stand at the edge of something unknown, something wild. It's the moment when your heart beats faster, when your breath catches in, your throat and your very soul seems to stir with anticipation. You try to ignore it, to silence it, but it is relentless. That feeling is the sign that you are on the verge of something truly transformative. It is the whisper of truth, the call to step into the unknown, to embrace the discomfort, to walk the path that others shy away from. The world will tell you to play it safe, to settle for the predictable, the comfortable, but comfort is not where greatness lies. Greatness is born in the tremor, in the fear, in the exhilaration of doing what feels impossible. That sense of awe, of hesitation, of deep, unshakable excitement, it is not a warning, it is a promise. It is the universe itself telling you that you are on the right path. The moments that make you feel alive, that stir you to your very core, are the moments where your true self is calling you to rise, to push beyond the boundaries you have set for yourself. You are not meant to live a life of quiet mediocrity. You are meant to live boldly, to chase that which makes you feel both terrified and excited, to forge a path that is uniquely yours. That tremor, that is the sensation of your soul expanding, awakening to the fullness of your potential. Do not fear it. Do not run from it. Embrace it. Each time you feel that flutter, that electric pull in your chest, know that it is guiding you to something far greater than what you have known. It is the doorway to your true self, and every step you take toward it will bring you closer to the life you were born to live. In the tremor, you will find the truth of your existence. And in that truth, you will find the courage to become who you were always meant to be, the perfection of imperfection. You chase it, don't you? The idea of being flawless, of becoming someone who exists beyond flaws, beyond mistakes, beyond the messiness of life. You look at others and see their polished exteriors, their carefully crafted lives, and you wonder, when will you be like them? When will you finally become perfect? But I tell you this, perfection is a lie. It is the greatest illusion ever sold to the human soul. The world tells you that you must be flawless, that you must strive for some ideal version of yourself that exists only in the minds of others. But this is not your truth. You are already perfect in your imperfection. Your flaws, your scars, your unfinished nature, they are not something to hide, something to fix. They are the essence of your being, the very things that make you real, human, alive. Your imperfections are not weaknesses. They are the raw materials from which your unique soul is forged. To embrace your unfinished nature is to embrace your true self. The journey of becoming is not about reaching a destination where you finally arrive as the perfect version of yourself. It is about becoming fully aware of who you are, with all your complexities, contradictions, and shortcomings. It is about shedding the idea of the perfect self and accepting the raw, unpolished you. In your imperfection lies your strength. It is in the cracks, the breaks, the moments of vulnerability that you will find your true power. The pursuit of perfection is a trap, a prison that stifles your growth. But when you let go of the need to be perfect, you open yourself up to the freedom of becoming who you truly are. You are already enough. You are already perfect in your journey, in your struggle, in your imperfection. The more you try to fix yourself, the further you stray from the truth of who you are. So stop chasing the idea of an ideal self. Stop measuring yourself against false standards. Embrace your imperfection, for it is in this very imperfection that you will discover your greatness. The price of true genius, to be misunderstood, that is the price you must pay for brilliance. The world will look at you with suspicion, with confusion, and with judgment. Your ideas, your visions, your very essence will seem alien to them, strange, untouchable. But I tell you this, you are not meant to be understood by the masses. True genius does not conform to the narrow confines of the ordinary. It shatters, it disrupts, it challenges everything that is known and comfortable. Do you seek approval? Do you crave the acceptance of those who cannot see beyond their own limitations? If so, you will never know the freedom that comes with embracing your true self. The genius that flows from the depths of your soul is not meant to fit in, to be tucked neatly into the boxes that society has drawn. It is meant to break out, to rise above, to create something entirely new. The world will tell you that you are strange, that you are out of place. They will laugh at you, dismiss you, and try to make you fit into a mold that suffocates your spirit. But it is in those moments of rejection that you will find your true power. For the greatest minds in history were not the ones who sought the comfort of conformity. They were the ones who dared to be misunderstood, who dared to be different, who dared to stand alone. Your genius will not always be recognized, it will not always be celebrated, but that does not diminish its value. The worth of your thoughts, your visions, your creations is not determined by the shallow approval of others. It is determined by the depth of your conviction, by the fire that burns within you, by the courage to be yourself, no matter the cost. So, do not fear misunderstanding. Do not shrink away from the strange looks or the harsh words. Embrace them, for they are the evidence that you are walking a path that few have the courage to walk. True genius is not meant to be easy to understand, for it is forged in the unknown, in the unexplored, in the wild territory where only the brave dare to tread. In your strangeness lies your power. In your difference lies your greatness. And in your refusal to conform lies the key to unlocking the future. The world may never understand you, but that is not your concern. Your only concern is to continue walking the path that only you can see, no matter how dark or isolated it may seem. For that path will lead to the truth that others cannot even imagine. Become your own greatest ally. You search for love, for validation, for companionship in the world. You seek out others, hoping to find someone who understands you, who stands by you, who sees you for who you truly are. But let me make this painfully clear. No one will ever be with you as long as you will. The one person you will never escape, the one you will always be with, is yourself. The irony is striking, isn't it? You spend your life running from yourself, hiding from your own truths, seeking solace in others, when the only true peace lies within. You are the only constant in your life, the only one who has been with you through every triumph and every failure, every joy and every sorrow. So why not become your own greatest ally? Why not be the one who loves and supports you unconditionally? To be your own best friend is not about narcissism or self-obsession. It is about accepting yourself, fully, without judgment, without shame. It is about standing beside yourself when the world turns against you, lifting yourself up when you fall, and forgiving yourself when you falter. The world may leave you, may disappoint you, may betray you, but you will always have yourself, and yet so many of us spend our lives waging war against who we are. We criticize ourselves, we abandon ourselves, we withhold the love and kindness we so readily offer others. But the key to true strength lies in becoming your own greatest ally. When you stop fighting yourself, when you stop running from your flaws and imperfections, you unlock a power within you that no external force can ever touch. You are the only person you can truly rely on. So why not make that person your most trusted companion? Why not be the friend you've always sought, the one who believes in you when no one else does, who lifts you when you are down, who walks with you even in the darkest moments? In a world that is fleeting, in a life that is unpredictable, the only constant is you. And when you learn to stand by yourself, to truly love and accept yourself, you will discover a power that is unwavering, a strength that cannot be broken. For when you become your own greatest ally, you unlock the door to a life of true freedom, of authentic peace, and of unshakable confidence. You are the only person who will never leave you. So be the friend you need most, and watch as the world begins to shift in your favor. Guard your mind like a fortress. Your mind is not a playground for the trivial, the shallow, the meaningless. It is the sacred ground upon which the very essence of your reality is built. The thoughts you feed it, the ideas you entertain, the words you speak, all of these shape the world you experience. And yet, how often do you allow the noise of the world to infiltrate this sacred space? How often do you engage in the empty chatter of those who have no understanding of the vastness that lies within you? To surround yourself with the trivial is to invite decay into your soul. The mind is a garden, and what you plant within it grows. If you nourish it with the shallow, the superficial, the fleeting, do not be surprised when your life reflects this emptiness. The world is full of distractions that lead nowhere, of conversations that don't elevate, of thoughts that do not challenge. The mind that consumes these things is a mind that withers, that stagnates, that falls into the abyss of mediocrity. But here's the truth. You have the power to choose. You can decide what enters your mind and what is cast aside. The words you hear, the conversations you engage in, the ideas you entertain, they will either shape you or break you. It is up to you to guard your mind like a fortress, to only allow the wise, the profound, the meaningful to enter. Surround yourself with those who provoke thought, who challenge your beliefs, who inspire you to grow. Do not waste your time on the mindless, the ignorant, the trivial. When you choose carefully what you expose yourself to, you create the space for greatness to flourish. Your reality begins to shift. No longer are you swayed by the noise of the world. Instead, you are guided by the wisdom that you have allowed to shape you. The mind that is fed with truth, with depth, with knowledge. This is the mind that will create a life of purpose, of meaning, of power. So be discerning. Protect your mind. Choose your thoughts as carefully as you choose your companions, for they will guide you to either greatness or ruin. The life you live is the reflection of the thoughts you allow to take root, and in your power to guard your mind lies the key to creating a reality that is as magnificent as the soul that inhabits it. You are the becoming, not the end. Too many of us live as though we are a finished product, as though life is a series of accomplishments to be checked off, a destination to be reached. We are taught that success is the culmination of effort, the final achievement that proves our worth. But this way of thinking is a lie, a trap set by those who fail to understand the true nature of our existence. You are not a finished masterpiece. You are not a point on a map, a final destination that can be marked and forgotten. You are a process, a constant unfolding of potential, a journey that never reaches a conclusion. The truth is, there is no end. There is only becoming. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop measuring yourself against an idealized version of who you think you should be. You stop chasing after a false finish line that only leads to disappointment. Instead, you embrace the fluidity of life, the beauty of growth, the power of transformation. You are not meant to be static, to settle into a comfortable existence and call it enough. No, you are meant to evolve, to push beyond your limits, to stretch the boundaries of who you are. Every experience, every challenge, every failure is a part of this ongoing process of becoming. You are always in motion, always shifting, always growing. In this realization, you find freedom, freedom from the burden of perfection, freedom from the need for validation. You stop looking for a final destination and start embracing the journey itself. You become more than what you were yesterday, but less than what you will be tomorrow, and in that, you find peace. So, forget about the idea of an endpoint. Forget about the pressure to be finished, to be whole. You are the becoming, the never-ending, ever-evolving process that exists in a state of constant growth. And this is where your true power lies, in the journey, in the unfolding, in the eternal becoming. Remember, you are not the end. You are the process, and in that process, you are infinite. As you walk through this life, remember, you are not a finished product, but a work in progress. Embrace the journey, challenge your beliefs, and never stop growing. The true power lies not in reaching an end, but in becoming more with every step. May you find the courage to follow your own path, the wisdom to question, and the strength to stand firm in your authenticity. The world is waiting for the unique, force that only you can be. Go forth and create your own truth.